G'day and welcome back. First off, this video will be pretty short, I'd say. I haven't had a lot of time in here this week. I've had a bit going on in the background. But what we're going to build is a 3-inch boring head. I built this 2-inch one quite a few years ago now, probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been really good. But I've always wanted a 3-inch one. So I've been in touch with Craig from over at Craig's workshop. He's got the 3-inch boring head, and I got him to send me a heap of photos and some measurements of his. So I've got them on my phone. I'm just going to build it off photos pretty much and some measurements Craig's taken for me. It's going to have a 25mm arbor on the end of it, simply because in the future I don't know what machines I'm going to end up having. So if I build it, say, with an MT3 or taper on it, well, if I get another machine that's got a 30 taper or a 40 taper or whatever, then it's sort of back to square one. I have to remodel the bottom end of it again. So if I build it just to fit in a 25mm collet, an ER40 system, well, it's going to be good all around. Cracking. Get stuck into it and see how much I can get done in sort of a day and a half. I'm going to use the 4-jaw for the start of this, just because there's a bit more jaw width. I can, just a bit better than the 3-jaw. I've got that running within a couple of thou, plenty good enough for the start. Just going to face it off and take it down to the 25mm for the arbor, and then I'm going to do the rest of it in the collar chuck at this stage. Okay, first hurdle. I remember this bit of material now. This has a really thick case hardening. It's a lot thicker than what I initially thought, what I remembered. So I'm going to ditch this bit of material and find another bit. I'm not going to spend a couple of hours just trying to get under that, taking real light cuts. Well, wasn't that an ordeal? About 2 hours later, I put one piece up in the bandsaw and I cut the end off, no dramas, moved it up about 90 odd mil. That hard you couldn't even cut the bastard. And then it took the edge off the blade, so I found another bit of material which is miles too big, which is 90mm in diameter, and as you can see it screwed the blade, so it took about an hour to cut it off. But here's what it is. So I'm just going to true this up, and then I'll bring this back once it's all trued up, and I'll start machining it down, which is a lot of material to come off. Machine it down to the 26mm to go in the collet. I believe this is a piece of 4140 my nephew got for me. 50mm of this will be the arbor, and then the rest will be the dovetail and the top section of the boring head, or the bottom section of the boring head. So yeah, just start machining down. It's going to take a while. I don't know, it is what it is. Might just get some speeds and feeds worked out off camera, and then I'll bring this back. Tried every combination I can think of to start breaking a chip, and I think I've just found that I've changed out to a TNMG insert. Got a little bit of a clean up to do in that bottom corner. 25.99. It's a good result. Just going to clean this radius up in the corner. What I'm going to do now is swap this over and hold this in a collet and start machining down this end. I've got to turn the outside diameter down to 75mm and face it to, I think I'm going to end up being about 45mm. I think, yeah, be only just clean the end up. That's 44 now, so yeah, I'm going to have to try and jam it all in that short piece. So I love building these on the run. It's a lot of fun. .23. I've got to go down to 75. So I had a bit to take off. Changed over to the TNGG insert. Got 1mm to take off the outside diameter, is down to 75. That should be 75. 75.08, which is good. That'll leave me a fraction to turn off later on. Take that out now and put it over in the mill and start doing the features on it in the mill. I have got it in the V-block. I've used an edge finder and found the centre of the part. The gap on this gap here is going to be 30mm on the 3" one. So got to open a slot up here, about 9mm deep. I'm going to go 30mm wide trough through the guts there. Well, as you would have seen, that did bite in and moved. I had that ripped up that tight, that vise, but it still seemed to move. So what I've done, I've popped it all back in the opposite direction. I'll use the go in the Y direction now instead of X, and then have another crack at it. Well, I've just made a big mistake. Went inside last night. It sounds like I've got a visitor. Trev's turned up. What I've done, I've gone 5mm too far this way. I've only gone down 2mm. So what I'm going to do is lower this trough again. Trev's brought in a dovetail cutter for me, a bigger one. So it's got to go deeper anyway. So I'm going to have to deck the top of this off. Should have moved over just 10mm from centre with that cutter, but I went over 15 like a dick. Anyway, make mistakes, you just got to fix them. I'll move over 10, keep going down to depth, but I'll take an extra 2mm off the floor as well. Now, thanks to Trev, he lent me his dovetail cutter, braised carbide one. Finished height will be this shelf in here where I screwed that up. So as I come through the first pass, it's going to cut on both sides. Then I'll move out and do this side, and then move across and do this side the same distance as what this one totals. Okay, I've decided I'll do this side first. I'm going to go until I've got a tiny flat left at the top of this lip, top of this edge, and I'll know what dimension I've gone over then, then I can do the same on this side, because it's got to have 2mm taken off the top here. I've shifted over half a millimetre, and we'll do another pass along this edge. Okay, I've got a 1/2 inch cutter up. I'm going to knock this top off on both sides, and then I might run over the fly cutter just to put a super smooth finish on it. Okay, I've got the fly cutter up, brand new insert. I'm just going to dust ever so lightly the top of this just to get a super smooth finish. I'm not too concerned about this area in here. It's going to be half gone anyway with the slot for the screw and the dial. Fly cutter done it again, left the ultimate finish. I just went around with a little needle file and cleaned up all the edges. This one here could do with a touch more. This can come out now, and I've got to work out where this centre bore goes. I've got a bit of relief cut in here to make it so it's a flexible gib, and it's got 3 set screws in there. So I'm gonna put this centre bore in first. But what I've done off camera is put up in a collar block, used a square on these edges, checked and got it square and done up tight, so it's running vertical. Edge found the centre, and I'm going to come in 8.5 millimeters from this edge. It's going to have a 24mm dial, so that's going to leave 3.5mm of the round section. I should get the screw and show you. This is out of the 2-inch boring head. This is going to leave, how can I say it, 3.5mm of this portion sticking up above this face to drive the other end, the top section of the boring head, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I've got to put a bore down here 45mm deep out to 24mm, and then the bottom portion is going to be threaded with whatever thread I decide to go with. Looks like it's gone absolutely dead straight. Perfect. Pretty stoked about that. I was only meant to go 45mm deep with that. Okay, I just sucked the table back and measured that 1/2 inch hole I just done, and I don't know, someone was looking over me because for some reason I just thought just let it drill. It was only meant to be 45mm deep, that 1/2 inch hole, so it left enough in the bottom to drill out, so it'll take an M10x1 thread or M12, whichever one I decide on. It's only 8.5mm at the moment. I wasn't thinking, and I just, last second I thought, oh shit, and I thought I'd gone miles too far, but it's only 47mm deep, thankfully, so I've dodged a bullet. Otherwise I would have had to machine a plug and pressed it in there with some Loctite on this bottom side to put the thread into that I needed, or yeah, done something anyway. But man, what a close call that was. See, just lack of concentration. Got a 3/4 end mill here. I'm going to try and plunge cut this out 45mm deep. I don't. That couldn't have went any better. 46mm it ended up being. It goes to show, to have a look at what tools you got. This is a 24mm cutter, I think I'm gonna test me luck. Just have a go with that, otherwise I'm gonna have to bore it out. It's gonna be a pain in the dot. I'm gonna try it and see what happens. Nothing wrong with that, a sunny day. Rightio, I've got some M10 by 1 taps. So 9mm drill, gonna drill this out. It's about 8.5mm I think that hole is now, so just skim the outside of it. Now, tap it. Rightio, I've got this hole tapped, 10 by 1. It's over 3/4 of the way through, but it's going real tight, and I'm just that concerned about breaking a tap. It's worrying the crap out of me. What I think I'll do, it's got plenty of thread. No, it's got this much thread in there. What I might do is just relieve the back side of it. What I'll do, I'll just run the tap back through from this side just to make sure I am 100% got the threads there. So lay it on its side now and put this slitting saw cut in. Oh well, that went well, better than I expected. Rightio, I'm going to go with M6 set screws in this. So one in the centre and then 20mm out each side. Got a 5mm gearing 2 flute end mill, so be able to just tap it straight away after put the holes in. It's going to work out well. I know this cutter's still nice and sharp, so. I will have to go back in with a bigger end mill just to put a flat on there, so it's going to make it easier to start the tap. This is my least favourite part of any build, is tapping holes, because it's normally where everything goes pear-shaped, especially with luck like mine. So I'm probably going to do this off camera, using this Hankster for super oil tap, super thick, especially on a cold morning. I've got a question for you guys. What brand taps do you use? What do you think is sort of the best, you know, for what we do and as this hobby? All I can get here locally is this Gday brand. If you guys can give us some suggestions to what you reckon's a better brand than that, let us know. And reasonably affordable. I know it's hard, but yeah, you got to pay for good shit, but yeah. Okay, we're on the last hole, and this ain't fun. It's taken me, I'd say, probably, what's the clock? 25 minutes to tap them 3 holes. And I just dropped the bastard, and I didn't break it. That wouldn't have been really cool dropping that, and I still had a bit more to go and then it broke, eh? That wouldn't be very cool at all. But we're right through. So I can take this out now. This bottom section is finished, all bar a bit of deburring. That's what we ended up with. I am really happy with that so far. I've still got to deburr these edges and so on yet, but that's all I have time for this week. Next week I'll probably make the top, but I have had a parcel turn up in the mail that don't look like fun. Got to make a half nut for it. It's a buttress thread, never cut one before, never seen one in person before, but that's coming up in the future. And I'm looking forward to that one. Anyway, that's the way it is. Yeah, do apologise, it's a bit drawn out, this one. I haven't had a lot of time in the workshop this week at all. About a day and a half is what it's taken me to get to here. But anyway, it is what it is. Righto guys, thanks for watching, and see you next week.